So this is a bit of a project I've had in my mind for a while, and I hadn't had the right team to put this together, but I found a great team to have now. So this is something that I've called Girl Talk, and this is an introduction with some of the girls who are involved, so have a watch.
Everyone always starts where they had a passion for cars since they were kids, and it's the same for me really. Since I was like 4 or 5, had boy cousins, didn't have a lot of family, so they were kind of like, you stayed like, they were almost like my brothers, so always playing with cars with them. They were all into their games, and they were into Hot Wheels, and me and my sister just became absolutely enthralled in that, because that's all we knew. Literally, that's all we kind of were brought up with. My mum's really into cars and bikes and everything, so that's where it all kind of started. And I knew that I wanted to go into something automotive related, so the first sort of the line that I was going to go into probably was to be a race driver, but it's one of those dreams that most people obviously just, it doesn't happen. So yeah. I didn't realise automotive design existed until I think I was about 16 or 17, and then that's where I thought, oh, like designing cars, because I really like art at the same time. Like, I had no idea it was a thing, even though it probably does make sense that they design cars before they come out. Yeah. So I then decided to study sort of the correct courses to go into car design, and then finally got a place at uni to study automotive and transport at Coventry. And in the second year is when we got introduced into the clay. So again, I had no idea that the clay existed. And in my head I was like, yeah, I'm going to be the person that sketches these cars out and designs them, until we got introduced into that part of it. And it was like the biggest eye-opener ever. Like, yeah, I fell in love with it because I love stuff that's sort of like creative and hands-on. So that's where my passion with the clay started, clay modelling. And then it was, another 3 years of uni. I was lucky enough to get into a placement with Aston Martin. So I did that for 3 or 4 months, I can't remember. But that, again, you know, it taught me loads. And I was lucky enough at the end of uni to get a job straight away at Jag. And I've been there for almost 5 years now. So I can't believe how quickly that time's gone. But yeah, that's like a real quick version of how I got into what I got into. But yeah, again, clay modelling, not many people have heard of it. So it's part of the car design process. And yeah, 5 years, and I love it. So that's me in a nutshell.
Realised my name on. I haven't changed.
Oh, it's slow Colin.
That is driving related, by the way. I don't know. I guess I work in the city. So I don't really get too much automotive base at the moment, but mostly I guess just sort of started from influence from my dad. It's probably the main thing. As a kid growing up, a lot of car shows, sort of classic car shows. He has like BMW E30s, Lancias growing up, a lot of VWs. So he kind of quite like the classic kind of stuff, and more like retro stuff. So yeah, just kind of from there, sort of, we did a lot of shows growing up till I was about 16. So only probably till I was about 19 maybe, when I went and bought my first car that was a bit nicer, I guess, right. Which was the Mini Cooper S, the R56 Turbo Gen 2. Just started getting into the forums, just sort of started modifying cars kind of quite tentatively, not overly much. Then we went and did a track day through the forum, which was great. I got absolutely hooked on it. Then you kind of start working, you need new suspension, you need wheels, you need this, you need that, and it just kind of blew up from there, really. And then I kind of thought, well, you know, I really enjoyed that side of a hobby. How can I turn it into a career? Yeah. So, you know, so kind of now, a couple of years later, I've done a lot of track days. I said I've got a Land Rover Defender I do off-roading with. That's where I've been all weekend. I've just come back.
Good. Yeah.
I don't know, just kind of grew from there. And now I'm kind of looking to do, I started a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started one of those. Yeah, just thought, again, just because I wanted to learn so much about the automotive industry. Because like I said, there's so many different things. Like I said, drifting, you know, the driving, the, you know, locations as such, products, manufacturing. So there's so much to it. But me to go and try and learn that much, I'd never be able to do it just from sitting at home. So the best way is just to go out there, to go and talk about it, to go meet people, to go and, you know, discuss these things. So that's kind of why I've started the YouTube channel. It's very early days yet. I've still got hell of a lot more to learn. You know, I wish I had quite as much knowledge as Joe does when it comes to supercars and this and that, because I just sit there, I'm like, I wish I knew that much. So I'm just doing a bit more for that side of things. Also do race technician work for Accelerate with the Mini Challenge.
I love
work
that.
cars. Yeah, which is really, really cool. So I want to do race technician. But again, because I was homeschooled, I've only got 2 GCSEs. So it really struggled, like growing up, trying to get into work that I wanted to do. So like, I'd love to go and do an engineering course, but you need at least 5 GCSEs, you need A levels, and I've only got 2. So I've always been put down quite a lot. So I thought, okay, well, how can I try and get into it? So last year I volunteered all season just with Accelerate, just in a hope that maybe if I can show I'm willing to learn, it might just get a foot in the door. So, and it did. I did all last season, and then I got invited to come back and actually work for them this year as a race 2 technician, which is really, really cool. So now I'm doing it kind of, yeah, it's really cool. I'm so happy with it. So I'm kind of like going backwards now. So I'm going to go back to study in September to go do my motor technology course in September for a year, and then hopefully go full-time race technician. Yeah, that's it.
Amazing.
So cool.
Love that. Well, last but not least.
Hey.
I'm Tessa. Hey. How I started into this crazy automotive industry. I was always interested in cars, as we all are when we're a lot younger. I think I got taken to Santa Pod when I was about 14 or something like that with my family, or my dad possibly with his mates, and saw drift taxis going around, saw the smoke, noise, everything like that. What the hell is that? I need to have a go. So obviously got in the car and I was hooked. That was it. I was just like, no, that needs to happen. Fast forward to many, many years. By the time I was 21, I was able to afford my R33 Skyline. I did want an R34, if I'm honest, but that was slightly out of my price range. Yeah, that's the one. Exactly. But I settled for an R33. It was pretty much a fresh, I would say she was a year from being imported anyway. Nothing done to her. So I could literally learn from scratch. But prior to that, I already knew how to kind of drift on muddy fields in off-road mobiles, because I had a Suzuki Vitara that I built myself, like 3-inch lift kit, 2-inch body lift, so I didn't have to extend all the wires and everything like that. Winch bumpers, the lot. I bloody loved it. But also I went into London pretty much every day. Used to go to Epping in the mornings after I'd been laning one night. The car is absolutely caked in mud, and I get out of the car in a pencil skirt and a suit, and people look at the car like, how the fuck? What? Excuse my language, sorry. Yeah, so got the Skyline when I was 21. Down the line I met my other half at a drift event, because I had a body kit company called Aero Kit, and went in there because the very first time I took my car out when I first owned it, I thought I was a hero, and to take my car sideways around a roundabout, thought I was amazing. And yeah, that didn't end well. And I split my front bumper in 2 because not great. Not the best thing. You live and learn. Just take it to a track. And then so I met him at the London round of the Drift All Stars that was at Olympic Park. Don't know whether anybody remembers that, back in 2014. Travelled with him and spent a couple of years supporting him. Basically, because I learned about my Skyline, he also owned a R33 Skyline, but with a 1JZ out of a Sora engine, that is. So she was running 500 brake horsepower, and it was kind of hit the ground running. It was just me and him traveling across Europe. And I was his spotter as well as his technician, changing tyres, changing wheels, everything, like setups, the lot, checking everything. Regret, let's go take myself over to Europe for my first year, concentrate on myself. Spent my first year spending lots of money doing 5 rounds of King and Queen of Europe. And at the end of that, I came 8th in King of Europe out of 72 drivers, and I came 3rd in Queen of Europe as well. So I was on the podium, which was really cool.
Pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, and then
Not bad at sliding cars then, if that's your first year.
I was all right. I was all right.
Not lucky.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. And then second year came along, Driftworks wanted to come on board with me, which was amazing. I then went and won and came second in 2 different events, but I was like literally, it was the most mental event ever. I went to Italy to Castelletto. Yeah, I came 1st in Queen of Europe and 2nd in King of Europe, and it was literally back-to-back battles. It was freaking mental. And then, yeah, unbeknownst to me, I was being watched already by Monster Energy. And then half a year down from that, I got a call from Bagsy, who's another Monster Energy athlete.
Absolute lad.
Thank you. To say, Tess, do you fancy coming to Speed Machine to come and do demos for the World Rallycross? I was like, sorry, what? No questions asked. So it was basically my initiation, and I think I was pretty much one of the craziest ones out there, like between 4 drifters, I think. And as a woman, you kind of get put into a category as such, but I think I overshot that category. And also I spent the majority of my time after the demos in my racing suit for about 3 hours afterwards, just signing autographs and like hero cards. It was like the best thing ever. Yeah. And then literally, I reckon a year and a day or year and a week after that, I then got my contract from Monster Energy to say, well done, you become sponsored by Monster Energy. Which was amazing. It was like the best thing ever. Now I have to call myself a monster athlete.
It must feel so surreal as well, though.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
surreal for it to just sort of accumulate in that kind of time.
It's freaking mental, I have to say. Like the things that I've been able to do, and like I got invited, all expenses paid over to, this was prior to being with Monster Energy. I got invited over to do Gymkhana Grid over in South Africa. Which is like meeting Ken Block and everything like that, which is like, fucking hell. Oh, Jesus! The opportunities that I've been given with Monster Energy is second to none. And it really is, like the places that I've been to and the people that I've met is amazing. But to be the first woman in motorsport in the world to be sponsored by them is pretty cool.
It's very cool. It's very
One
cool.
hell of an achievement.
Yeah, for sure.
Actually, by all means, Joe,
Yes.
we haven't heard from you and your story.
Yeah. Oh, this because everyone knows mine anyway.
I don't know it. I only met you the other day. Come on.
True. So basically, same story as everyone else with the whole, grew up with picking Hot Wheels over Barbies, and I was a proper daddy's girl. And when I was growing up, he was a copper. So he'd get in at like stupid o'clock at night and would watch reruns of Fifth Gear and Top Gear and WRC and BTCC and F1. I'd end up sitting watching this with him, and I was always like, Dad, I really want to be the first female like rally championship winner. And he's like, you can do that if you want to do that. And then as I got older, we realised how expensive having a rally car was. So I was like, just going to admire from afar. But yeah, it's all his fault, bless him. So he was the one that got me into cars, and we used to work on the family car with like the maintenance and upkeep, and was fascinated how they worked. Till ill, I became his carer. And it was a doctor that basically said, look, you need to take some time out for yourself as well. What do you enjoy? And I was like, well, cars and photography. And they went, can you not just combine that? And I was like, oh yeah, actually I could. That's not a bad idea. So as soon as I got my driving licence, went to these like chavvy car park meets in Essex, took my camera I bought, just started snapping away. Really random R8 V10 rocks up, and this guy was getting out of it, and I was like, oh, I love a V10, because I say it, like, I don't think about who's around and whatever, it just, bleh. And he turned around and went, sorry, what did you say? And I'm like, oh, sorry, I was just saying, your R8 V10, it sounds amazing and I love it. And he went, but you didn't read the engine bay. How did you know it's a V10? I went, you've got the oval exhaust. If it was a V8, it would have 2, like, quad exhausts. And he was like, wait there. He got all his mates that he drove in with, got them to come over and goes, tell this lot what you just said. And they're all like, mate, high five. That's sick. How did you know that? And I'm just like, I like cars. And yeah, I became friends with them, and then we started going to all different meets. And at this point, Gumball 3000 used to hold breakfast meets in association with Krispy Kreme. And we just went, like, a big group of us, and I got talking to more people, and more people showed up. And then that's where the supercar sort of diversion came in. Found myself sort of going to Dubai and being flown to America to shoot a car collection. And at the age of 23, I drove a 918, and I was literally just like, what is my life? Like, this car's worth $2 million and I'm 23. And the collector's a really good friend of mine, so he was just like, keep up, kiddo, whilst he's going off in a Ferrari GT ahead of me in the outskirts of New York. So it's all these beautiful hilly roads, and yeah, he's an ex-Flying Lizards driver and gone, and he's just like, keep up. I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, I've done all stuff like that, and like worked with Koenigsegg, and you know, was the first person to shoot the Regera outside of the factory. So
Wow.
Yeah, it's been some mental stuff, and like the focus was always on the photography. I loved it, and that's what I wanted to do, but soon realised, you know, that that's so difficult to make as a job. So when like my dad passed away, the sort of passion died for it as well, and I just kind of went, I give it up, Skulls and Snaps now, I can't be bothered. It's not the same without my dad. See, something this year just sort of went, get back into it, you idiot, like, do it. So yeah, back to pursuing that, and you know, the YouTube videos of random crazy cool experiences. So something will turn up one day, as and when it should. As to what career wise, I don't know, but
yeah. But would you not ever be interested in doing car journalism yourself? Because you've got the knowledge there, and I said you've got the contacts. It's just kind of, you know, sort of working.
And you've got the interesting different character as well. Yeah, like really, you've got the character and a charisma for it.
I think you do really well, because I think you're so approachable as well, and it would just be. I think that's a good thing. You're just so approachable and just talk, and you like I said, you know your stuff. You're very knowledgeable. I just think it's, if you can use that and put it in, channel it into something, do it. Just go and do it. I think you would do very well at it. You are doing well at it, you know.
Thank you. I think that's why I'm focusing more on the video side of stuff now. If I can sustain the video side of stuff, or be amazing just to have a job as to sort of be given a car and go, here, we'll pay you to drive this and chat shit.
That's what I'd love to do. Like, I think I'd love to do that kind of car journalism stuff, but I just don't know enough about them in such detail to be able to go into. So I've got to learn. I've literally got to start from the beginning and just learn. But that's something I'd love to do.
So thank you for watching this video. Sorry it cut off so abrupt. We've been talking, and there's a couple of technical issues with laptops dying and stuff, but that's a intro into some of the girls who are part of this cool project I'm doing. The others will be on a video very soon, and you'll get to meet them. But drop a like, leave a comment on what you want to see us do or discuss, and stay tuned for more.